Hey look, I made another debunk video on this guy named Deadfear. Oh, let's just get into the video.
This is one of the hardest Minecraft prisons ever. And while it may look simple on the surface, the interior is shielded by bedrock, making it impossible to break out. Will I be able to escape? I started off in this room that I was trapped in by bedrock surrounding me. All I could see near me was this blast furnace that had nothing in it. I tried looking around the room for something hidden, but there was nothing here from what I could see. I also had nothing in my inventory to help me, and this thing. That is until I solved it by just doing one thing, pressing F5.
Using F5. Good job, I guess.
Of it. When I opened it, the chest contained 5 raw irons, 6 warped planks, some redstone, a blaze rod, and 6 gold.
First of all, I already know that you have to make a rail, so it's pretty obvious, I guess. Let's just speed up until he finally escapes this part.
Now that I'm out, I can finally explore the next. This is so great. Hey, well, there looks to be an Among Us character, and I can actually see the exit pathway through his helmet. I tried looking at anything. I only had 1 block, and this wasn't nearly enough to make it. But then I figured it out. If I could somehow reach the entrance, I could place a rail and a minecart to teleport myself up there. I still wasn't reaching high enough, and I tried thinking of things that I could craft to get me up higher. Then I realized something. I left the chest back in the spawn room. So I broke the chest and used it to build up 1 more block to the Among Us character. Now all I had to do was break this glass and then use this sidewall to place down a rail. Now I can place a minecart on top of this rail and make it up to the exit. Now I'm confused though, because all this led me to was a dead end. The only thing I could see here was a hole that appeared to have some railroad tracks going through it. There was no way for me to reach this though, so I couldn't place my minecart there and escape. I had to think about what I could do here, but it didn't take me too long because this one's pretty easy. All I had to do was connect the rest of the track with my 6 powered rails. But I didn't have enough here, and with this, I wouldn't be able to get enough speed to go through the bed. I explored around to see if there's something that I missed, but the answer laid right in my inventory. I had a leftover redstone piece and some sticks. And with this, I could craft a redstone torch to power the rails. Now I had enough speed to place the minecart and make it through the bedrock. When I made it through, there was a sign that said lava pit ahead, and I barely managed to make it out in time. I went back to check what was actually there, and there really was a death trap waiting there. That was a close one. When I went to explore the new area, it seemed to be an all on it, which allowed me to finally make it to the next area safely. Now I'm in this small room with a hopper below me and a piston blocking my entrance. There was a barrier blocking me from breaking the piston, so I figured that the prison wanted me to give up my powdered snow to move on. So I threw the powdered snow in, escaped the box, and took the piston with me. This new area was huge, and first thing I saw were these 2 mushrooms, which I just picked up. The platform on the other side of this thing was cut off by a huge pit of void, and I'm guessing I'm gonna have to find some sort of way to make it across there safely. The first thing I looked at was this villager in the wall who was offering 4 slime blocks for 1 amethyst shard. I didn't have that shard yet, so I decided to just keep looking around. The first room had a lava wall with a block of water in the middle. I tried using F5 to see if there was any water on the other side, to which there was none. That means I'm gonna have to find a way to get through this lava without dying. In the meantime, I looked at the room next to it, which had a large drop-off and a chest floating in the air. I also saw that there was a hole in the ceiling, but since I didn't want to get stuck by dropping down, I just kept looking. The final room was a large hallway with a pit of doom below, and there were these odd-looking water platforms in the middle. I also found this crafting table in the wall and decided to break it so I could take it with me since I had nothing to craft yet. I accidentally pressed F5 and I actually uncovered a hidden item frame right above me, and it had a bowl in it. I crouched so I could see part of this item frame, and then I got the bowl. I went back to the lava room and figured that I had to be missing something from here since I already checked everywhere else. I imagined there had to be something hidden inside the lava, so I searched around until I opened a hopper which had a flower in it. I didn't really realize how a flower would help me whatsoever until I remembered that you can craft a suspicious stew with the regular recipe and a flower. I searched up which potion effect my specific flower would give me and found that it actually gives players fire resistance, but only for 3 seconds. So I crafted it, and I had to be quick here. I immediately drank the soup and went straight through the lava. On the other side, there was a chest with a bow, a slime block, and an arrow. After gathering that, I broke the chest and jumped straight into the lava again to escape. I didn't really understand what I had to do with this bow and arrow until I looked up and immediately revealed the answer to my question. There was a target with a dropper next to it, so if I shot the target block, it should dispense whatever is inside that dropper. I had to be perfect with this, so I lined up the shot and hit it dead on. I waited for the item to fall, and it was a trident enchanted with Riptide 3. Over to the last platform. Once I successfully made it, I opened the shulker box at the end and got 2 different pistons. I looked around me to make sure that there was nothing that I missed, and then I leaped my way back over to the main area. Now that 2 out of the 3 rooms have been completed, I had 1 left to go until I could escape. This was the room with the big drop off, so once I jumped off, I had to find a way to somehow make it back up. I saw only 1 chest, and I tried using F5 to look around for more things. I just barely found that there was a hopper hiding underneath me, and after thinking for a while, I thought it would be best to drop down since I had no other option. When I opened the hopper, I got 24 bamboo. I had no idea how this is gonna help me. I needed a way to somehow make it to this chest, so I took a look at my inventory to see what I could do. One idea I had was to make a slime block launcher with my piston and slime block. decided to try this out by placing a piston with slime on top and using the trapped chest from the lava room to activate it. This allowed me to launch myself over to the chest and open it. I opened it and saw 4 string, but I wasn't able to grab it because it forced me out as I was falling. I decided to try again by putting the slime block back in its place and launching myself once again. This time, I was fast enough to grab the 4 string and keep it for myself. I started thinking about what I could do with this string. I knew I could make a block of wool, but this wouldn't help me whatsoever. I then looked at the crafting menu and saw that I could craft scaffolding blocks. So I used all of my string and bamboo up to craft 24 scaffolding blocks. Now I can use these to build up through the tunnel in the ceiling and safely climb up. When I made it up, I found the amethyst shard waiting for me. I grabbed the shard and made my way back down the scaffolding. Then I used my previous slime block launcher to launch myself back into the main room and made it up safely. If you're wondering why I used the regular piston instead of a sticky piston, I simply did this because I already figured out what I needed to build to get across this large gap. I needed to build a flying machine. I used my amethyst shard to trade with the villager and acquired my 4 slime blocks. I now had 4 slime blocks and 2 sticky pistons, but to successfully build this machine, I still need 2 observers. I looked around for hidden spots where it could be and had no luck at all. I even went back and checked each room to make sure there wasn't anything that I missed, but I still couldn't find where the observers could be at. Out of frustration, I started beating up the villager, but as I was taking out my anger on him, I found that there was a secret hopper right under his feet, and as you could have probably guessed, it had the last 2 observers that I needed. Now I feel really bad for beating up the villager, but that doesn't matter anymore. It was time for me to build this machine. I placed the observers down with the pistons behind them and then followed it up with 2 slime blocks on each side sticking to the pistons. Now all I had to do was stand on top of this thing and hope for the best. I placed a scaffolding block to activate the observer and we're off. I really had to be careful as to not fall off this thing while it was carrying me across the void, but when I finally made it to the other side, I jumped off and safely made it to the exit. Now all I had to do was take the staircase up to the top, and I did it. I escaped the hardest Minecraft prison.
Now I would just say this is the worst escapist ever. He just takes things from Seawat and is cool, which he is not. And then just puts it into the worst prison ever. This isn't even a prison, by the way. It's an escape room. And if you're saying at least he did a good job on the exterior, no. There's no weird thing on top of the sea pickle. So all I can say is he needs to be better if he wants to do this again, but he hasn't done it in a while, so yeah. I think this is just his only one. So I'll see you guys next debunk.